Hey everyone, this video is on the quotient rule of derivatives. And the way the quotient rule works is anytime you have maybe like a rational function or just a function that ultimately is a quotient, right? We basically have something on the top, let's call that f, and something on the bottom here, let's call that g. And we just want to derive using what we call the quotient rule. So this looks pretty similar to the product rule. The only difference is that we know that division tends to go with subtraction, whereas multiplication tends to go with addition. And so that's really the main difference here, of course, in the numerator, right? That's f prime of g minus g prime of f. And then the denominator here for the quotient rule is always going to be g squared. So that's just your denominator squared. So if I want to derive this, I'm just going to be using the quotient rule. And I'm going to start by doing f prime. So the derivative of 3x plus 9 is just 3. And I want to multiply this by g, which in this case would be 2 minus x. Put a minus, and now we get to the g prime in the formula. So what is the derivative of the bottom, right? And so the derivative of the bottom here looks like it's just going to be -1. So I'm going to put a -1. And the reason for that is the derivative of 2 is 0, and this is that derivative of -1. Okay, we want to multiply this by f, which is 3x plus 9. And remember that the denominator would just be g squared. So that would be 2 minus x squared. Okay, and that's pretty much how the quotient rule works. I mean, if we wanted to simplify this, we could a little bit, right? Let's distribute that 3, so we would get 6 minus 3x. Over here, negative and negative should make a positive 1. So positive 1 into 3x plus 9 is just going to give us 3x plus 9, of course. And then, of course, your denominator is still 2 minus x squared. Now, you'll notice these cancel, and then 6 plus 9 should give us 15. So we really just end up with 15 over 2 minus x squared. All right, that's pretty much how the quotient rule works. You'll get all kinds of functions in here, but basically, that's the idea. All right, hope that wasn't too bad. Remember that if you like my videos, subscribe, please. I'll be uploading more derivative rules and integral rules, and then we'll start to get into applications.